Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. I'll show you how I made this pattern. These are the basic supplies I used. I will be using this solid blue color, but for now I'm going to set it aside. And then I also have 2 piles of scrap clay. And if you like either one of these, I have done tutorials on both of these, and the links will be in the description below. When deciding on which color scrap clay I wanted to use, I wanted to pick colors that would contrast the blue. Now I'll begin chopping up my scrap clay. If there are any pieces stuck together, be sure to pull them apart before continuing to chop. The size of the pieces aren't really important. If you want to make them really tiny, you can. If you want to make them large, you can. And if you want to just do a combination of both large, small, and medium, you can do that too. After you've chopped it up to whatever sizes you want, you want to go ahead and mix it up very thoroughly. And also if there's any pieces that stick together, go ahead and separate them. And this is just so that you do not have clumps of one color stuck together. It'll be varied throughout your piece. And I'm going to separate it out into a long, thin line before pushing the pieces together. Again, breaking up any clumps as I go. At the end of the video, I do show you the earrings that I made from this clay pattern. Once I've joined all the pieces together, I'm going to flip it a little bit and begin pushing those pieces together too. And then I'll begin gently rolling it. I actually don't want it to be too thin, so it's probably going to be pretty much the same length it is now. And now to roll out the solid color clay. I'm going to roll it out so that it is thin enough to fit through my pasta machine. And then I'm going to roll it out to a number 3. That is the third from the thinnest setting. And this is it when I'm done. You do want it to be fairly thin. Place your scrap clay on your solid colored clay, and then trim off the excess from one end. If you're enjoying this tutorial, please hit that subscribe button or the like button, or leave a comment. It does take a lot of time to put the videos together, from filming and editing to audio, and also just making the jewelry in general. And it's always nice to know that somebody enjoys the creations that you make. And then begin wrapping your scrap clay in the solid colored clay. And then you'll want to gently roll it. You don't want to lengthen it, but you just want to join all the pieces together. And you really don't need a lot of this clay. The snake that I have rolled out is not very long. You do want it to be slightly thick though. The thinner it is, the less detail you're going to be able to see once we do put all the pieces together. Go ahead and chop off the messy ends. Place 2 fingers on either side of the clay, and then gently press down. It'll come out looking like a diamond shape or an eye. You'll want to continue this all the way down your piece. You don't have to make it perfect at this point. After we chop it up in a moment, you can go back and flatten any ends that didn't get flattened. And the tops may get a slight little point to them. You can just use your finger and smooth them back out. Once we put it all together, you actually won't even see this. And I've finished. It took me only a couple of minutes to do this. I'm going to go ahead and chop off the messy end. And this is basically what it looks like. And now you'll want to cut it off into equal length pieces. You just don't want to have the pieces tall and some of them shorter than the others, because once you put them all together, it'll leave dips and divots in the clay, and it'll make it really hard to burnish, and it also might distort the piece. You'll see in a minute when we start putting it together. And this is my pile. You can go ahead and start to perfect the edges. Some of them didn't get flattened all the way, so you can just sort through your pile and flatten the pieces that need flattened. And now to put all the pieces together. You can actually put it together in whatever pattern you want. I don't really know what else you would do besides how I'm kind of doing it. But, you know, if you find another way, sweet, let me know. And this is where it was important that you make all your pieces as close to the same size as possible, because I'm going to start placing them together, and sometimes if they are too short, it'll leave a dip in the clay, and it just makes it really difficult when we burnish. And don't worry, I'm not going to show you the entire process of me putting all these pieces together. I'll do a row or two just to show you. If you've watched any number of my videos, and you have a favorite, please let me know in the comments below. I would much prefer to make things that people actually want to watch. A lot of the things I make, I enjoy making, but doesn't necessarily mean that you enjoy watching them. And this is mine when I'm done. Now I'm just going to go ahead and start pushing the pieces together to join the clay, to work out any air bubbles, and also to burnish my piece. And I would say that it is important to make sure that you do this from all angles, the front and the back, and then also from the sides, just to not distort the piece. And I'm using index cards. You can actually use whatever you'd like. You could use printer paper or notebook paper or really whatever you have. And I did place this in the freezer for about 5 minutes, just to firm it up. Once you have your piece well burnished, you'll want to just go ahead and shave off one of the sides. You'll want to shave off as thin of a layer as you can. The basic idea of this would be just to trim away any of the icky ends or muddied pieces from when we were burnishing. And this is it. It came out pretty nice, and your piece would come out differently depending on what kind of solid colored clay you used or the colors of scrap clay. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!